Making a beautiful and healthy container is both a science and an art. Today in this segment, we're going to go through both the science and the art so that you can end up with a beautiful container. First thing you want to do is choose a container that is the right size for the number of plants you're going to use. The next is to fill the container with potting soil, not garden soil. Then group plants so that you have sun plants together and the shade plants together that have the same light and water requirements. Then you'll add the fertilizer to the potting soil. And the last thing to remember is to skip that layer of gravel. It does not help drainage. I am using a 13-inch glazed ceramic container for a planting that should look good for 4 to 5 months. Before we start planting, there are a few things that we need to do. The first thing we need to do is clean the container inside and out. So I'm going to use my hose and get rid of all the dirt that was there from last year. Because it is difficult to thoroughly moisten the soil, we're going to moisten it in the bag, which is really handy. So I'm taking my trowel and just putting the water right into the soil and stirring it very thoroughly. Now we're going to fill the container with this hydrated potting soil to about 2 inches below the rim. This is nice and wet. So what you want is hydrated soil and hydrated plant. Now the next thing I'm going to do is add a slow release fertilizer down to the roots of the plant where I think they're going to be. And that's because with each watering washes the nutrients out. The fertilizer will release its nutrients for the plants, and I'll stir that in really good. Okay, let's think about some design principles when we create plant combinations. If you want a contrasting look for something that will really pop, you can use these plants here for a shade combination. What they show is that you can have really strong colors in a shade garden. These plants are all sun, but they're all similar colors, so it's a very soothing look. Try different combinations. A common formula for container design is thriller, filler, and spiller. For this combination that we're going to plant, this would be the thriller. These plants down here, which are a lot of foliage, will be the fillers, and these two plants down here will be the spillers. Read the plant tag for information on mature size and proper care. Before we plant each of these plants, we need to dunk them in water to make sure they're fully hydrated. So I'm going to dunk the whole plant. Can you see the bubbles? You leave it in the water until there's no more bubbles. That means it's fully hydrated. And I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to remove the pot. See how tight the roots are? I need to take all of those off before I put it in. So I'm just going to rip and tear. And what this does is allow new roots to get in so that the plant can grow very healthily in the pot. And now it's ready to plant. This is my finished container for sun. So, with regular watering, occasional fertilizing, and taking care of the dead flowers, you should have a wonderful container for about 5 months.